Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your man Pristine back with another video. Welcome to the Pristine review for the new Honor View 10. Now, we're just going to dive right in. You guys know the order of business. Let's go. So the first thing that I want to cover in this review is the price and the specs. Obviously, the price is one of the most important specs, and so the price for this device is $499, and you can get that at the highhonor.com website, and I'll definitely be sure to drop a link in the description if you're interested in picking up this device. Now, we've got the high silicon Kirin 970 processor. We've got 6 gigs of RAM. We've got 128 gigs of onboard storage, and we're running Android 8.0 fresh out of the box. And we do have EMUI 8.0 running over Android, so that's Huawei and Honor's own skin. And I gotta say, with the Oreo update, I mean, things are much smoother than what they used to be on Nougat. Obviously, there's some improvements with the Oreo update, but this comes with Android Oreo fresh out of the box, which is a wonderful thing. And so I figured, those are some high-end, powerful specs. I mean, those are specs that are going toe-to-toe with a lot of the flagships, other flagships that are out right now, that are coming out. And this is right there, up there with those. And for the price, I mean, $499. That's a great value. This is definitely a flagship killer device in my personal opinion. Now, the build quality. We've got a full unibody display here. And as you can see, this is the midnight blue color. And nothing really all that flashy about it, but it's very durably built. We've got Gorilla Glass on the front. It's an unspecified Gorilla Glass. It's either Gorilla Glass 3 or 5. It's one of those. But nonetheless, I mean, we've got an aluminum unibody. Feels really good in the hands. It's nice and smooth. It's not slippery or anything like that, like a lot of the glass devices out there. Even though some of the glass devices are a little prettier, they're a bit more appealing to the eye. This definitely, this particular build definitely feels as though this phone is extremely durable. So it seems like it has survived a drop or two. Although I'd recommend a case, you definitely want to protect your investment. But nonetheless, I mean, the build quality to me is definitely top tier. I mean, Honor, they definitely used premium materials to craft this thing of beauty that I hold before you. Now, the performance, as I mentioned, the Kirin 970 processor chip, coupled with 6 gigs of RAM, things just move in a hurry, and that's a good thing, So, between how snappy the device is, it's connected to my Wi-Fi right now, yeah, you're getting excellent performance. I mean, no stuttering, no lag at all whatsoever. I mean, I've tried countless times to get this phone to stutter or lag, and it would not do it. Tons of apps open at the same time. Excellent RAM management. Some of the most graphically intense games that you could possibly play. This phone just handles it with ease. I tell you, like a hot knife through butter. So very impressed with the overall performance of this particular device. I mean, this phone is definitely a powerhouse, and like I said earlier in the video, this definitely holds its own. It goes toe to toe with a lot of the flagships of today. So, the performance is absolutely stellar in my personal opinion. Now, the cameras on the front, we've got a 13 megapixel front-facing camera, and then around the back, we've got a dual camera system, one being a 16 megapixel primary sensor, and the other one is a 20 megapixel monochrome sensor. And here's what I found. Oh, well, I accidentally hit the assistant. My bad. Yeah, as I mentioned, 16 megapixel primary, 20 megapixel monochrome, all the bells and whistles that you can ever want in a camera. Excellent camera here. Now, again, it's not the Leica branded camera that we find on the Mate 10 Pro or the latest flagship from Huawei being the P20 Pro or the P20. But nonetheless, I mean, the camera quality on this device is pretty stunning, And Huawei, they've always made some good quality cameras on all their devices, pretty much, whether it be budget, mid range, or flagship. And so that was not really a surprise. I didn't think that this camera was going to be a slouch by any stretch of the imagination. Also, due to the fact that Leica is not featured here on this particular camera system, but I knew it was going to be good, and it is. I actually think that the front-facing camera is a little better than the one on the Mate 10 Pro. The Mate 10 Pro has an 8-megapixel front-facing camera, which is also really good in its own right, but I think that the 13-megapixel front-facing shooter here takes a tad bit better photos than the Mate 10 Pro, but the Mate 10 Pro, on the back of it, it's got those dual Leica lens cameras, and those pictures come out to be a little bit more realistic looking, as far as like color tones and color reproduction. I noticed that the camera here, it has a tendency to overexpose things, and it's trying to make everything as crisp and as sharp as possibly can, and sometimes it has a tendency to kind of overdo it a little bit. The pictures still come out looking crystal clear and good, but sometimes the colors they aren't as natural as they appear to be with the Leica lenses that are on the Mate 10 Pro. Sometimes things seem to be a little bit too bright, stuff like that, and so it's just like it's unnatural coloring. And I feel like that Leica lens technology, it really hits the nail on the head as far as the actual color reproduction and sharpness and detail and all that stuff. So, I mean, I think that that's the best way that I can describe that, is that I feel like the Mate 10 Pro just takes a tad bit more realistic looking photos. The photos look excellent with this camera, but like I said, when you compare the two side by side, you'll notice the difference. And be sure to check out the dedicated camera video that I've done on this phone. That's also been uploaded, and you can definitely see exactly what I'm talking about. But nonetheless, I mean, excellent still shots and video footage. You can record in 4K. I mean, so you definitely do have that capability. So yeah, I mean, I gotta say, the cameras, thumbs up on the cameras, man. I mean, they're great cameras. Now, battery life. Now, the battery, we've got a 3,750 milliamp hour battery, and it lasts all day. I mean, I was able to get through a full day easily with this device. As I've mentioned in several other of my videos, I'm more of a moderate user. I've tried to kill this battery with extensive use, whether it be just watching a movie on Netflix or just extreme downloading and streaming. Well, I don't do a bunch of downloading as far as like games and movies and all that type of stuff, but I watched a couple of Netflix movies, streaming music on Spotify, and it still took a very long time to kill this battery. And one of the positives is, I mean, you do have that quick charge technology. I mean, so, Huawei and Honor, for both the Mate 10 Pro and the View 10 here, they're claiming you can get 58% battery charge in a half hour, and that is accurate. I mean, that is very accurate. I mean, so this phone definitely charges extremely fast. I mean, it's up there with the dash charge capabilities on the OnePlus phones. So, yeah, I mean, it charges extremely fast. I mean, it's definitely as advertised. And I think that is definitely a welcomed feature. If your battery is drained and you're on the go, but you don't have that much time, you just plug in 15 minutes to a half hour, it's going to give you hours of battery life to keep you going. So that's definitely a plus there. Now, additional features. I love the fact that I'm a big fan of EMUI. They're just their skin over Android. I mean, their phones always come chock full of features and things that you can customize to really make the experience your own. But some of the things in particular, I've never really been into Face ID, but I gotta say that this device has changed my mind towards Face ID, and I feel like if there's an example that needs to be set in order for the other OEMs to get it how it should be, I think that they need to model after what the View 10 has done with the Face ID on this particular phone. I think this phone drew the blueprint on how Face ID should go. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to give you a brief little demonstration here. Now, typically, I like for my phones to have the fingerprint sensor on the back. And so, some people prefer for them to be on the front. This one, it's on the front, and there's a reason why it's on the front. And there's some different little things that you can play around with the fingerprint sensor. But let's see if I can get this on film. So, a lot of the devices that have facial recognition or iris scanning, as you know, let's just say the iPhone X, for instance, as an example, in order to get that to ID your face and unlock your device, you have to tap the screen and then swipe up on the screen. And did you just see that? You just saw that, right? You have to tap on the screen and swipe up on the screen and then hold the phone up in order for it to read your face, right? And when I had that phone, I was thinking, okay, although the technology is innovative, how come they won't? When is somebody going to create a device where it's just on a surface right here and there's no steps? I mean, you just literally pick up the device, hold it up to your face, and it unlock, right? And that's exactly what the View 10 has done. And it's amazing. I mean, so I'm more of a fingerprint sensor guy. I've never really been into iris scanning or facial recognition because it's always been kind of spotty, didn't really work too well, or was very inconsistent. Well, on the Mate 10 or on the View 10 here, Honor and Huawei, they nailed it. All right, check this out. I'm not going to push anything. The phone is on its back. It knows when it's on its back. It knows when it's being picked up, and all you do is just simply pick up the device, put it within range of your face so that it can scan it, and it unlocks just like that. Here we go. Wow. Now, as I'm boasting and bragging about it, it's just because the camera's in front of my face, but every time it does it. Here we go again. You guys just saw it before I did that example, so let's try that again. Alright. Move up the camera a little bit. Okay. Here we go. Now you saw that. Okay. So it was just because my face is the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus is in front of me. It's what I'm recording with. So now we'll do it again just for consistency. Wow. Wow, that's interesting. It's never done that before, and my face is clear of the phone. Wow. Okay. Well, after a certain amount of attempts, then it takes you to your pin, or you can just. Okay. Well, now it's forcing me to to put my pin in. But there was 2 times where you guys saw it work, and for me, my experience, it's been that way every time I would hold this device up to unlock it with my face. And so I think because of the fact that I'm so close to this camera, the camera was kind of obscuring the vision of the lens. But there were 2 times that you guys saw where it unlocked just like that. And since I cracked this thing out of the box and set it up, I mean, that's been my experience. I mean, so I can't understand, why it's doing what it's doing now that I'm trying to demonstrate it on camera. I know it's just the phone being in front of my face, but trust me when I tell you, that it's an amazing technology. It's a great feature that works very well in this particular device. I haven't seen Face Unlock work as well on any device as it works here on the View 10. So man, hold up, man. I gotta try that again, man. Hold up. All right. So here we go. Move the camera up a little bit. Okay, now my face is clear of the camera. Okay, here we go. Boom. You see that? All right. That's what I'm talking about. So, there we go. So, I hope you guys, got that, nice and clear. And that's typically what my experience is whenever I hold this device up to my face. It just unlocks instantly, just like that, snap of a finger. So I like that. I do like the different gestures and things that you can go with. So the fingerprint sensor here, if you go into system and system navigation, then it gives you 4 different ways in which you can navigate your device. And so you can do it with the conventional capacitive keys on the screen there. You can do it with the off-screen navigation button, which if you click that option, then the fingerprint sensor you can utilize just kind of like on Moto devices, how you can turn off the capacitive keys on the screen so you can take full advantage of this full screen real estate, and you can use that fingerprint sensor for gestures to navigate your phone. Okay, so that's a nice little feature right there. Then you've got on-screen navigation key, and so you see that gives you like a little white line right there, which is very reminiscent. It's similar to the iPhone X. And so with the iPhone X, you know, that little line, that's an indicator that if you want to perform any kind of action, you swipe up on it and you do what you need to do. Well, this one, you know, if you swipe it to the left, it brings up your recents. Okay, just tap it, it brings you back home. You swipe it to the right, it also takes you to your recents. Tap it, brings you back to your home screen. Swipe up on it or swipe down on it. Okay, well, I guess that's not doing anything. Let's see what happens when you hold down on it. Oh, nothing happens when you hold down on it. Okay, well, yeah. So it brings you to your recents, or you can just tap it to go home. But even with that on the screen, the fingerprint sensor still can be utilized as well. So say, let's just go back to our settings. And if you want to go home, then you can just tap on the fingerprint sensor and you still can use that to go home. So this is not a physical button, but it's just like a sensor that you can use to navigate through your device. And so I think that's a really cool feature. Like I said, I mean, they've got 4 different options in which you can choose from. Well, I'll say 3 different options which you can choose from, other than the conventional having your capacitive keys on the screen. I mean, so you've got off-screen navigation button, on-screen navigation button. You've got virtual navigation bar, which is what we're used to. And then you also have the navigation dock. So when you turn on the navigation dock, then there's that little dot right there. And then here's a little tutorial, about navigation dock. So you can touch it to go back, release after touch and hold to go to home, hold and slide for overview, and then drag and move position, or drag it to move its position. And so that's a pretty nice little feature, something for you to play with. But you can pretty much put that anywhere on the screen where you want it, and you can utilize that to function the device as well. So go back to settings, and I'm old school, so I'll just go back to the virtual navigation bar, which is what I'm used to. And you could also customize your navigation bar from this screen as well. And so I think that's a nice feature to be able to customize your button layout, if you want to change that around. Also like the fact that you've got a ton of different gesture controls. You've got one-handed UI, motion controls. When you go into motion controls, you've got flip to mute, pick up to answer a call, or to make a call. You can raise the phone to your ear. If you're in your dialer, you dial a number and you just raise the phone to your ear, it calls. Or if you're getting a call, you just put the phone to your ear and it answers the phone. Just little cool stuff like that. You do have the ability to draw on the screen with your knuckle to open up different apps. You draw C for the camera, W for the weather, that kind of thing. You take your knuckle and swipe it across the screen from left to right to split the screen, if you want to do a little multitasking. Just little stuff like that. Draw a circle on the screen with your knuckle to take a screenshot. Just different cool little effects and things that you can do. Some people may consider that to be gimmicky, but they're useful tools. If you're using them properly. And I just also like the fact that they give you tons of things to customize your device. Just the different transitions that you can utilize, just to really make your experience a little different from what other people are doing. And I'm a fan of being different. A lot of people are walking around with the same devices, doing the same thing. I mean, they may have a different wallpaper or something like that, but I like to be able to, change the wallpaper, change the theme, change the icon layout. I just like for my stuff to be completely different if I am rocking with the device that I know, some other people may have. And that's another thing about this device. I mean, I don't really anticipate, not to say that this phone isn't going to do well, but I know for a fact I'm not going to walk around in a bunch of places and run into people that have this device. So that to me that makes this device pretty special in its own right. You know what I mean? And it definitely stands out, and it can go toe to toe, in my opinion, with just about any other device that's out there right now. So this is the Honor View 10. Like I said, this is a great value for the dollar. I mean, $4.99 gets you a hell of a device with a tons of features, functions, performance, cameras. Everything everything got checked. You know what I mean? I can't say, is there anything that I don't really care too much about the phone? I mean, I can't really say that there is. I mean, this phone is pretty solid. It's a very well-rounded device. I mean, I do have some preferences. I mean, I prefer for my fingerprint sensor to be on the back. I prefer an AMOLED display. I like the Leica lens cameras, just a tad bit better, which is why I have the Mate 10 Pro here. But, both of these phones side by side, some may think that the Mate 10 Pro would blow the View 10 out of the water, and that's definitely not the case. I mean, I think that the Mate 10 Pro is a better device overall, but slightly. Very, very, very slightly. And the fact that the Mate 10 Pro is still going for $799 for retail, $650, $649.99 in the U.S. for all the retailers that are selling them until they sell out of their inventory. Then they're not going to sell them anymore. Like I said, I found an open box one at Best Buy and got it for $550. And it was in excellent condition. So, be on the lookout for some deals. If you guys are trying to get your hands on the Mate SE or the Mate 10 Pro at Best Buy. I mean, there are some that still have some inventory in stock. And I don't know. Some places seem to be selling them pretty quickly. Others not so much. And I think maybe a lot of people have heard what's been going on, what the U.S. government's been saying about them. I mean, so people are actually staying away from them. Not really understanding what they're missing out on. But hey, I mean you can't fault people for being ignorant. But that's why I like to try to feature these devices on the channel, just to educate people and let them know, man, you've got other options out here besides Samsung and Apple. I've got nothing against Samsung and Apple. So I've had somebody ask me, do I talk like I hate them or anything like that? No, I mean, as a reviewer, I feel like it's my responsibility to put the information out there and try to give the most unbiased opinion and information out there as possible. But I do have things that I like and that I don't like, you know what I mean? And way before I started this thing, like I said, I've always been a mobile phone geek. I've always had 2 cell phones, and I've always had the latest flagships, whatever the latest Samsung was, whatever the latest Apple was, whatever the latest LG. Those were my three devices that I would always just swap around. Whatever the newest one was, I had it. And so coming from a background full of flagship phones, options out there, OEMs and things that you'd never hear of, phones that you'll never hear of, just because maybe they're just in other markets and they're not marketed here in the U.S., or they may not have the budget that a lot of these bigger conglomerate companies like Samsung and Apple may have for marketing or publicity and advertising and all that kind of thing. But like I said, man, there's a lot of great devices out here that can definitely compete with the likes of Samsung and the likes of Apple. So yeah, am I a fan of Samsung and Apple? Absolutely. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, I've come to know what they expect from them. They always put out good quality products, and they've been doing it for years. And so I don't really get too thrilled and excited whenever they put out something new, because I already know that it's going to be something top tier. I'm excited about a lot of these other companies that are trying to put a staple in the game like Apple and Samsung has, and seeing what they're bringing to the table to be able to compete, to stake their claim. That's what really excites me. And so, no, I don't hate Apple. I don't hate Samsung. But devices like these, just me personally, I prefer them over Apple and Samsung right now, So, I've been wowed by Apple and Samsung for a long time, and there's been some disappointing things about Apple and Samsung. They're definitely not perfect. But yeah, man, I'm all for the other guys right now. So that's all I got, man. Pristine review for the Honor View 10. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that you find this information informative. And like I said, if you're interested in getting this device, be sure to check down in the description, because I will definitely drop a link in the description that will take you directly to the site where you can purchase. It's also being sold on Amazon, and so I'll drop a link in the description for there. You can either get it from the HighHonor.com website, or you can buy it from Amazon. Either or, it's the same price, $4.99. And so definitely look out for that. And let me know your thoughts. If you guys have a View 10, if you're thinking about getting one, let me know if you've got one, what your experience is with it. If you're a little hesitant to pull the trigger and buy it, man, let me know why. Maybe I can, or maybe this video and the information that you saw in this video will help you, make that decision. This is all just to help you guys make an informed decision on whatever your next smartphone purchase is going to be. So keep that in mind. That's what I do this for. All right. So thank you guys for all tuning in. I appreciate your time as always. And definitely, smash that thumbs up button if you like this video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of more videos that I've done like this one. And definitely stay tuned to Pristine Mobile Tech, because I've got so much more to come. All right, I appreciate all my subscribers. I love you guys. And those of you that have been rocking with me for a minute, all my new subscribers, salute. Thank you for your subscription. And I hope and pray that I can continue to feed you guys the information that you're looking for in these devices, man. All right. So until the next video, you guys already know, stay safe, get spiritually fit, and keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.